Welcome to Trump's America. Again. Anyway, I want to talk about the TikTok ban. Well, it wasn't really a ban. It was only down here in the States for 12 hours? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I was never for a TikTok ban, and this is coming from someone who doesn't even like TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I hardly watch short-form content because I don't like that form of content for the most part. And I think everyone who rejoiced when TikTok went down are frankly stupid. TikTok ruins attention spans. That problem now goes way beyond just TikTok. Most major social media platforms at this point emulate TikTok's short-form content format. YouTube now has the shorts. Instagram and Facebook have reels. TikTok is not the only player in town when it comes to that type of content. Yes, they are far and away the most popular platform when it comes to that form of content. But if TikTok were to ever be banned permanently in the US, people would just flock on over to either YouTube or Instagram or that Redbook app or whatever the fuck it's called. I've heard about that actually has stronger ties to the CCP than TikTok does, so good going, Congress. To get their fix of short-form brain rot content, I'm sorry. This is a problem that is not going to be fixed by simply erasing TikTok. TikTok is cringe. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but every social media site has its share of quote-unquote cringy users. And cringe is such a stupid and incredibly subjective word anyway. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who would tell you that I'm cringe. So if that's the reason why you were clamoring for TikTok to go away, then yeah, you really need bigger priorities in your life. But anyway, the main reason why I was never for a TikTok ban is because that would be a clear overreach on the part of the government. That hugely popular video sharing platform is now inaccessible for everyone in this country because we don't want you to access said video sharing platform anymore. But TikTok is a national security risk because they sell off our data to the CCP. Yes, because our tech companies are fucking saints, right? No, they are stealing your data too, and selling it off to advertisers. And they are also using your data to curate your algorithm in such a way that will keep you hooked onto their platform. You're watching a YouTube video. This platform is owned by Google, a tech giant engaging in the very same practices I just described, same as any other tech giant based in this country. So spare me the talks of how concerning it is that TikTok harvests our data. Yes, TikTok does harvest your data, and yes, that is a bad thing, obviously. But are you also going to go after the tech companies here in this country that do the exact same fucking thing? Oh, wait, you're not, because these tech companies and the billionaires who own these tech companies line the pockets of many of those in Congress who are all for a TikTok ban. They don't actually care about your data being stolen and sold off by these tech companies, because if they did, they would be going after companies in this country engaging in those very same practices first. No, the real issue Congress and the Biden administration has with TikTok is that TikTok is a platform that they can't control. TikTok has been a massive force in pushing pro-Palestinian sentiment and pushing back against false narratives that Israel is simply just defending itself, and overall bringing light to the atrocities that Israel has been committing in the West Bank. And obviously Israel is a major US ally. Much of the bombs and munitions they have been using to slaughter Palestinians with has been supplied to them by this country. And those in the Biden administration and in Congress are used to legacy media being the only player in town, parroting their talking points and manufacturing consent among the public when it comes to geopolitical affairs we have no right in aiding or initiating. We didn't have a TikTok in the early 2000s when the US launched invasions on Iraq and Afghanistan to quote-unquote fight terrorism and find weapons of mass destruction that didn't even exist. And it was only years after the fact the public en masse began to acknowledge those invasions as failures. But now we have platforms like TikTok where independent voices can rise to prominence and speak out against atrocities like Israel's genocide in Gaza and sway public perception on issues such as this. And our government does not like that they have no control of the narrative on TikTok because obviously TikTok is not a platform that is based here in the US. And that's why Republicans and Democrats alike either want TikTok to be outright banned or sold to some billionaire who lives in this country or a US-based company. But now Democrats specifically are having this bite them majorly in the ass because when TikTok went down on Saturday, this message displayed when you opened the app. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. And then when the app went back online, this message displayed. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the US. You can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. I don't think I've ever seen such a blatant and politically motivated stunt done by a major social media platform ever. TikTok's CEO even went to Trump's inauguration, and apparently, and I saw this on Blue Sky, if you comment the words Free Palestine on TikTok, there is now a decent chance your comment gets removed and you receive a community guidelines violation. We'll see what Trump's exact plans for TikTok are relatively soon, I'd imagine. But I wouldn't be surprised if part of whatever deal Trump may have struck with TikTok is to, one, make US TikTok another propaganda arm for the Trump administration. For example, whenever Israel's faux ceasefire deal ends and Netanyahu inevitably says, oh, Hamas broke the ceasefire deal, or whatever bullshit justification he uses to go right back to bombing innocent Palestinians, and Trump aids, funds, and arms Israel just as much as Biden did, if not even more, you won't see as much resistance on TikTok as you did prior. And to shift all of the blame for the TikTok ban, quote-unquote, onto the Democrats. A lot of people forget this, but this TikTok ban happened as a result of an executive order Trump enacted in his first term. He was calling TikTok a national security threat too back then, and said that it needed to be banned in this country. But all of that is now forgotten, and he is now heralded as the savior of TikTok, and by extension, a champion of free speech. Biden could have easily overturned this in these last 4 years, but he didn't because he didn't give a fuck, and a TikTok ban became favorable to him likely when there is mass outcry against his uncritical support for Israel. But now he handed Trump a massive win among the youth demographic. I guarantee you most US TikTok users are not going to look into how this ban originated from an executive order from Trump's first term, and they're only going to remember that this happened under Biden, and Trump was the one who saved their precious brain-rot-inducing app. And that same app flashed a message for every user in this country to see, congratulating Trump for saving the app. I just really fucking despise the Democrats, dude. Holy shit. Obviously, the Republicans are more nakedly evil, but you also have the Democrats to thank for these last 4 years helping lay the groundwork for where we are now. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.